Hey y'all, I completely cut off the video and I did not mean to cut off the video, so I'm gonna continue with part two right now. So as we know, we got to the part where the young ladies, Lauren and Kaylee, are running from these group of girls who are doing the Freak the Geek, which means they are trying to harass these young ladies, bully them, and shoot them with paintballs. And these young ladies are actually going through what we call all through the running, they're going through a change, right? They're looking at themselves as, okay, we don't look like all the other girls. Maybe they want to pick on us. Maybe they want to judge us because of the way we look. Maybe because of our bodies. And then they are actually right now we're at a climax here in the story where they're actually having a rift. They're having a disagreement. We're having two characters having dialogue with each other. So as we've seen before, you know, um, Kaylee's pretty much telling Lauren, like, I think they pick on us because you're meek, which means you're weak, right? So let's pick up where it goes. She goes, I think that sometimes you could be a little, I don't know, meek. And they prey on that. So they prey on us. I just stand up and climb out from the bridge. Maybe that's what bothers me so much is that the thought that Kaylee might be right. But mostly, I'm just furious with her for not even thinking that and letting alone saying it out loud. Where are you going? She says. To the car, I say as I walk away. I'm talking so softly, she probably can't even hear me. All things being equal, I could rather be paintballed. I'm walking for about 30 seconds when I hear Kaylee's footfalls behind me. I'm sorry, she says. I wheel around. You know, you're a total you know it all. And it's incredibly rude sometimes. I mean, you're not perfect either. You act like it's my fault, but it's not my fault for being quiet. Or your fault for being a know it all. It's not your problem or my problem. It's their problem. They're the demented ones, not us. So don't take it out on me because the only thing that holds anything together for me is having something else or, on the not demented team. Kaylee just nods and then we stand there for a second. And then she hugs me. She says, I'm sorry. I can hear her crying in her voice a little. But when we separate, she has her hands on my shoulders and says, back to the bridge for the trolls. Oh, what a good friend. We go back to the bridge, just listen to the water run. Then it is the phenomenon that Dr. Hotchkiss taught us about physics, about particle behavior. And I'm thinking about it while I watch the water rumble over the pebbles in the creek bed. Please excuse the garbage truck in the background. When particles are suspended in water, they move around really weirdly. I guess the one way to think of how they move around is that every time they run into another particle, they immediately forget everything about where they've been before. Fighting with Katie is like this. Thank God. We can completely forget about the fight as soon as we run into each other in a not fighty way. I love that about her. So after a minute, I say, I still think trolls are people. They aren't human, Kaylee answers, friendlier now. Now listen, it reminds me of like just me, my family, and my friends, like people that I truly care about. We can fight, we can argue, but we will still hold each other down. And I think that's what makes people family. That's what makes people friends. Like if you genuinely love your friends, if you genuinely love your family, you're not going to fall to pieces. You're not going to fall apart every time someone says something or does something. You're going to stick with them. You're going to stand by them, you know? Right. I'm not saying they're human. I'm saying they're people. Dude, she says, I think you are completely insane. Take on what constitutes personhood. For starters, people are real. Oh, really? The freakers strike me as pretty fake, but they're still people, I say. Ha, she says. Fair enough. Would they were clean enough to spit on you, and as the bard would say, but they are people, and so are trolls. Text to world, what are trolls? It was significant about the word trolls. For my social media people, what are trolls? You know what they are. They comment, they say all these mean things, they do all these things, and I think that maybe our friends Lauren and our friends Kaylee are not the trolls. Maybe it is the people that are harassing them. Okay? No, Kaylee says, smiling. Trolls are trolls, elves are elves, orcs are orcs, and fairies are fairies. I would say that trolls or elves are definitely people. Elves have to be people because in interspecies sex is gross, and there's nothing gross about Aragorn getting it on with Arwen in The Lord of the Rings. Okay, text the world, worldly things, and connections to another reading, which is Lord of the Rings. It's the kind of thing someone would say Kylie scoffs. If someone was bashing their analysis on the movies, not the books, doesn't happen in the books. On the movies, not the books. Repeat. If someone was bashing their analysis on the movies, not the books, doesn't happen in the books. Wrong, I say. The burden of meekness has lifted. They get married in the appendices. It's a tool symbol of for the restoration of Numenor Pond. Excuse me, my mouth is all like sweet from the coffee. We will have to continue this discussion, Kaylee says, realizing her defeat. At another juncture, for now, let's just us return to your car. On the walk there, circling back to the other side of the campus, we find other debates. Do zombies spew blood? What happens if zombies attack a unicorn? How can mermaids hook up with seamen if they have no legs to spread? Princess or Toad? Dawn or May? By by the time we make it to the car in the gray twilight, I've forgotten our fight entirely in the way that freakers never forget their fights because their fights are all they have. The freakers have gone home, their cars are disappeared from the parking lot. There's a single lipstick red splotch on paint, the paintball goo in front of the grill of my car. It hasn't washed off for months, but I don't mind it. It's not my scarlet letter. Is theirs. Ooh, connection to the text, connection to the text, connection to text to text. The Scarlet Letter is a book that you'll read when you get to college, and you will learn about it. The Scarlet Letter digs a lot deeper on a young girl's chastity and how she should be respected in the community and how everyone looks at her. But that book is way beyond your years. This text is a little above your grade level, but I feel like you guys can handle it because of your reading levels and also because of the things you guys are, connected to. All right, parents, I hope you were okay with this reading as well. Let's dig into some notes. So we did some annotations, and you should have annotated. You should have made connections to questioning schemas, inferences, predictions, and summaries. All right. So this book was really good. I really liked it. Excuse the light for going up and down. I'm using natural light, and the sun doesn't know if it wants to be outside of the clouds or before them. But this was a really good read, y'all. I really enjoyed it, and I think what's more important is to think about the theme of the story, right? What is theme? Now, remember, theme is pretty much the main idea and the underlying meaning of the entire work. What would you say is the theme? Because is the theme about the girls harassing them and throwing paintballs? I'm sorry, I had to do the Explorer moment. I'm waiting. Okay. No. What is it about? Friendship, right? The relationship between these two young ladies and how it's okay to have an argument with your friend, but still love them, right? To still have a connection to them. So let's summarize it all up, shall we? Lauren has a friend. Her friend name is Kaylee. Kaylee and her friend are teenagers in high school, juniors in high school, and all of a sudden they hear Freak the Geek. Oh my God. This is one of the many traditions at their school, Freak the Geek, which means these group of girls who are not nice are going to do something mean to them. These group of girls, they come out with their paintball guns, and they're surrounding this young lady's car, and they're frustrated and they're angry, and both Kaylee and Lauren take off running. Lauren is making some connections with some words and some things that she's saying, and Kaylee does not get it. Kaylee is like, "What are you talking about? This is not educated. This is not smart. You sound dumb." Lauren starts to feel that Kaylee is kind of talking down to her because they're both frustrated, they're both angry, and what ends up happening is Lauren tells Kaylee pretty much how she feels in her actions by leaving. Kaylee kind of checks herself and says, "Okay, I'm sorry, I get it." They still have a banter back and forth with each other, but they return back to the car and they realize, hey, it's not all what's cracked it to be. My friendship with my friend is more important. This is a scarlet letter. This is a paint. This paint symbolizes a scarlet letter. It symbolizes what my relationship is. The day that me and my friend had our biggest fight, but then the day that I realized how significant my relationship with my friend is. Ooh, so good, y'all. I literally did that at the top of my head. I did that in my head. And you guys can do that too. All right. So please, today I want you to annotate, send me your annotations in, take pictures of them, and send them in to me. You can send them in to me on Google Classroom. You can send them in to me on Remind. You can send them in to me on the email. And I will see you guys tomorrow for our vocabulary. If you have a song request for tomorrow's vocabulary, please type in the comments below. You get to choose the song for tomorrow's vocabulary. Type the song below. Mikey, I'm not doing shot of flow. And we are going to change the lyrics, all right, with the words from this week. And remember, only the people that watch the video gets the bonus word for extra credit, matriculation. All right, you guys have a fantastic Monday, and I will see you tomorrow.